Okay. Start the party back up. Alright, I'm back. Back for a late night stream, just to get footage. We're just gonna go ahead and get started. We're gonna play Nacht. And I am gonna use some Mega Gobblegums this time, because I do want to be able to pack a punch, but that's really it. The other stuff is pretty surplus, and if you're wondering why I'm moving from Nacht, or from Revelations to Nacht, I'm giving up on Revelations. Unfortunately, that fucking map defeated me. So if you want to go watch me rage, then check out the last two Revelation streams. They did not go well at all. But, I mean, I don't need, I didn't need to finish the Easter egg to get the footage I needed, so... Again, it's fine. It's fine. We're moving on to Chronicles now. I need footage of all the Chronicles maps. And thankfully, pretty much all these I can just pick up and play. I think, the only Chronicles Easter egg I'll do is Origins. And that's not going to be for a bit, so I can just sit and chill. I could end up doing Moon, but again, that's not for a while either. That's a ways off. So, you know, there's quite a few maps here where we can just play the game and turn my brain off and just talk for a bit. Which is very pleasant. And, you know, one of the big points I'm going to make when I do eventually make the video and talk about Chronicles is, like, it absolutely saved this game in a lot of ways. Because before that, the only pick-up and play map you really had was the Giant. And the Giant, you know, for a lot of reasons, you know, as I was talking about when I was playing it, has some issues that these maps don't have. So, obviously, none of these maps other than Origins have the shield, so that is one thing to take into consideration. But for the most part, they're pretty great remasters, I think. Again, for the most part. There is one exception that I will talk about that's objectively a downgrade in this collection, but I think most of the maps are better than the originals. Which is a pretty basic take. It's a boring take, but I think it's true. You know, like for example, Nacht here, right? Like adding perks and the Gobblegum machine to Nacht, I think it just gives it more replay value than it would have had otherwise. Because if it was like, you know, World at War and BO1 Nacht, so there are no perks, no pack-a-punch, I don't think anybody would really replay this. You know, but now that you have all the tools at your disposal, right? And as much as I hate Gobblegums, I do like being able to pack-a-punch on these maps. It's, you know, it's nice. It's nice to know you can actually get to a decent round on these and play them for more than, like, you know, maybe 10 rounds at a time. You know, and I don't think that's inherently a bad thing. You know, like adding the basic necessities on a map, right? Like pack and perks. You know. And this may be contradictory with some of the things I say about Cold War later. Like, because I'm obviously going to complain that Cold War is too easy, right? And it may seem like I have a double standard when it comes to, you know, like this, for example, being able to pack and have perks and stuff on this map. But the difference is, even with all those things on this map, it's still not, you know, it's not brain dead like Cold War is. It's not extremely easy. So there's obviously a difference and nuance when it comes to that, you know, but I'm sure some people very stupidly would call me a hypocrite. But you know, the zombies community collectively has an IQ of maybe 50, maybe 60 on a good day, so I mean, I really don't take what they say very seriously. And that's not to say the zombies community is like an amalgamation of, you know, just this one creature that says the same dumb shit over and over, but it certainly feels like it. But, I mean, there's a lot of different people in the community with different opinions and such, you know, but I can generally feel like there's a hive mind and a consensus. Which is, never very fun. And I guess there is one faithful thing that this this remaster does, that the original did also, and it's that the zombie spawns take like 45 minutes to actually get into the map, which I'm shocked by. Because I thought with how fast the zombies are in this game that, you know, they wouldn't be able to recreate that just because, you know, the whole map would be flooded in 2 seconds. But no, spawns are just as slow as they've ever been. So I'm just going to sit here and talk for a bit mostly. Because again, there's really nothing to do. Normally I like to shoot all the barrels to play Undone, because I really love that song. But, you know, copyright. So I don't want to do that. As good as it is, and trust me, it's really good. Like, I mean, if you haven't heard Undone, definitely go look that up. It's very phenomenal instrumental. And it just fits this map perfectly, you know. And I think they added that in the Black Ops 1 version. It definitely wasn't in the original, so it's... And as far as I know, I mean, it's one of the only things specifically that the Black Ops 1 remakes added, so... And I'm very grateful for it, because it's a fantastic piece. Anyway, I should have hit the gobblegum this round, but... Here. And again, these World at War maps, so, you know, Nacht, Shino Numa, and Varrock are the only times I'm going to be using megas, period. And again, it's just a pack-a-punch. You know, the bare necessities and such. And, you know, just like before, I'll only be going for the standard 4 perks. And I guess the annoying thing about that is I'm probably going to be hitting the Wonder Fizz a lot, just like I'm going to be hitting the box a lot. So that's, it is kind of fitting that they put just the Wonder Fizz on this map and not the perk machines, because it does coincide with the mystery box, you know, spamming nature of the map. It gives you something to constantly spin and roll for, just like the box was on this map originally. So I actually don't think it breaks up the gameplay that much at all. I think it works just fine, actually. And I know when this came out, people bitched endlessly about the Wonder Fizz being on the map, but I think it's ultimately was a pretty great thing. And again, I don't compliment this game very much, but when it comes to most of these Chronicles maps, I'm actually going to be pretty positive, because I think, like I said, that Chronicles was an extremely positive thing for this game, and obviously zombies in general, so. So, you know, I mean, whatever issues you know, I or others may have with this game specifically, I mean, there's no denying that Chronicles was a pretty incredible release. And an incredible time as well, because it came out in the middle of Infinite Warfare, which, you know, people were shitting on that game endlessly at the time, but I was playing that too. And, you know, just a lot of content to play at the time. It was great. I don't remember exactly when it came out. I think it might have been Chronicles. It might have been after Shaolin Shuffle, I think. Alright, I don't know, I'd have to look at the dates, but I think it was after Shaolin, but before Attack of the Radioactive thing. It was around that time. So, obviously I should use this wall power. The only thing is, what do I use it on? It's a tough call. Obviously the KN is a safe bet, but I don't like being boring. So I'll buy the Kuda. How about that? Kuda's fine. Okay. Should be... no. Yeah, well the next spin should be crate power. There's double tap. good to get that early. Keep my guns actually doing damage. Okay, I don't want Widow's Wine. Definitely don't want Widow's Wine, because, you know, like I've been saying this whole time, I'm trying to do everything with just the standard 4 perks, and, you know, shove that off a little bit. So normally for, like, the maps that I'd be doing an Easter egg on, I'd try to go to for around 40 for footage, but I think on this map I can just go to 30 or something. Keep it kind of low, just because it's super basic, and I don't really need to show that much of it. And I don't mean to, like, you know, breeze through the maps or whatever. But, you know, we have 8 maps to do in this collection, so I kind of want to... And 2 of them I'm probably going to be doing Easter eggs on, so... So I just want to get through these early ones nice and quick. But I do want to get the Thunder Gun out of the box to show off as well, so there is that. Of course, it's currently almost 6 in the morning where I'm at, so I don't expect anyone to watch this. Not that they would anyway. But it's fine. It's just good to sit and talk sometimes. Talk to yourself. It can be good for the soul to do that sometimes. Trust me, I do enjoy being alone. Because, Lord only knows I don't always get to be. So here, let's get that crate power. And then, I'll do one other hit on this. I at least want Jug, but, you know, it's not always a guarantee. Stamina, yeah, I don't want that either. Again, that's another one of those perks that just falls into the overpowered category for a multitude of reasons. And there's no reason to really explain it, because, again, I'm going to have a whole section on Stamina Up and Widow's Wine alone in this wonderful video I'm putting together. And unlike the Giant, right, you know, these maps all have Widow's Wine. So on a normal occasion, it makes them more playable than they would be normally. What do we got? Dead shot. Yep, nope. Don't want that. Okay, here, I'm gonna start hitting the box in it too. Mark 2. Alright, I'm gonna take that. Mark 2 is good. And it'll be good to get footage of it. It still annoys me they didn't put this in the base Black Ops 3 maps, or at least one of them, or something. You know, throw the Mark II a bone, man. It should have been in all the maps to begin with. It should have launched with this game. The fact that we had to wait like 2 years for this mystery DLC we didn't even know we were going to get to use the Mark II in this game, it's kind of lame. Some people would probably call that a nitpick, I guess, but... You know, like I remember when Black Ops 3 launched, I was extremely disappointed to not have the Mark II in the game. You know, it's just one of those things that, you know, should have been there. It should have been a staple in zombies after it was added. You know? So, I just don't know. Also, I forgot to point out in the Wonder Fizz, and the perk bottle for Double Tap is the Double Tap 1 perk bottle. It still uses that model, even though Black Ops 2 had a Double Tap 2 perk bottle. So I don't know why they reverted to the other one. It just doesn't make any sense. But I guess in terms of nitpicks, that one is a nitpick. The perk bottle thing. I would call that a nitpick. Okay. Right, should be spinning this. And then, obviously, I'm gonna keep the CUDA for the time being as well. And then, obviously, if I get the Thunder Gun, I'll just crate power that and get rid of the CUDA. There's a Divinium. Quick revive, I'll take that. And, another thing I forgot to point out as well is that, the Ultimus crew is on this map, but all their dialogue is muted. There's just no character dialogue in this map. And I think it was the same way on Black Ops 1. It had the Ultimus crew, but they muted the dialogue. Which is, you know, it's tasteful, but obviously the original Nacht had those 4 Marines, and they had lines, so... But, still. It's fine. Anyway, here I should hit this. Purple. In plain sight. Probably should have taken that, but I didn't want to go down. Carpenter. I guess it's also worth noting the original Nacht didn't have Carpenter, right? Carpenter wasn't introduced until Derice. And since all the spawns are window spawns, it's actually not that bad on this map. I guess aside from the obvious fact that when the zombies do break through, you get a big clump of like 5 out of 1 window. And that's been a problem ever since Carpenter was introduced. Which is why on a lot of maps it's actually detrimental. Aside from the fact it gives you 200 points. Okay. And of course, it should go without saying, the Mark II being burst fire is, you know, its own detriment, because for a majority of the rounds you're going to be using it, it's going to kill the zombies in 1 shot, so it's just waste ammo. I did notice, though, strangely enough, that, you know, like, I don't click on my own VODs, and, you know, obviously I re-download them and upload them to YouTube, but I don't watch them, right? But strangely enough, the VODs that I've put up have a few views on them each. So I don't know who's, you know, watching these VODs, but I don't even know how they find them, to be honest. But somebody's watching them. So either I have a stalker, or people are watching the VODs for whatever reason. And obviously a view doesn't mean they sat there and watched the whole thing. They may have watched 2 seconds and heard my voice and then tuned out because, you know, I'm an idiot. And obviously I would deserve that treatment, of course. I don't think I can afford CUDA ammo, to be honest. Unless I get it max, which would be pleasant. I'd prefer that. And obviously I don't want to hit the box once when I get enough points and just grab a random gun, because then I could get the Thunder Gun and, you know how that would go. Great power. Okay. Oh boy. That was kind of scary. We still don't have Jug. I should be hitting for Jug. That was real close. And I didn't even mention it, I kind of did it instinctively, but I went ahead and I bought the stairs instead of the help door, which might seem weird to some people, but generally the best kind of training spot on the map is, you know, leaving that door closed, and then training in the box room. And I'm just so used to having to train on this map that I kind of forgot about the OG camping strat, but I mean, let's be honest, it was never that good. We just did it because we didn't know what else to do at the time. You know, like, people didn't even really start training in zombies until, like, Kino. And then you go back to World at War, and it's like, oh, no, you could train here, and you know, Shino Numa is just one big training spot, right? So... I guess technically that's not completely true, because there were people who trained in Durice, but... You know, it wasn't mainstream until Kino. Because Kino's really not a camping map at all. You know, like, the stage basically is telling you, hey, run around. And some people really don't like that style of gameplay in zombies. They don't like running around, necessarily. You know, which leads to some people saying the downfall of zombies started with Black Ops 1, which is pretty insane to me. Because in my opinion, Black Ops 1 just took everything World at War did, but better, in a lot of ways. Alright, I'm running pretty low in this Mark II, so... Definitely gonna have to buy that cane. Oh, no. Alright. Ask and you shall receive. Oh, here, give me that. Now I can use the Kuda again. Isn't that lovely? Obviously, since I keep spending points on the box and Wonder Fizz and stuff, I'm probably never going to get enough points to rebuy ammo for this. So, but it's fine. A packed gun is a packed gun. Can't complain about it. Okay, one on that. One on this. Bullet boost. Yeah, I mean, even if I get a good alternate ammo type, there's not much I can really do with it right now. And if I get turned or fireworks or something, it's just going to steal my points. You don't want that. Alright, well, I just need Jug at this point. Stamina up. Okay. I guess that's the only annoying thing about the Wonder Fizz is getting Jug, because Jug is a bare necessity, no matter how quote-unquote nerfed it is in this game because of the, you know, the cracked out zombies. I guess I should explain that a little bit. I mean, Jug is not that good in this game compared to the other games, just because the zombies hit you so fast that it ends up being a lot less useful than it used to be. And that's not just because of, like, the, you know, again, the 3-hit down versus the 2-hit down. It's just that the zombies hit so much faster in this game. It is insane. And the thing is, I don't think zombies will ever hit you this fast again. Even, like, the super sprinters in Black Ops 4 and Cold War don't hit you as fast as these guys do. It's just a weird blip in zombies where you just have this one game where they're completely cracked out and they hit you like 5 times in a millisecond. Widow's Wine again. Okay. I think it's a wall power. Okay, here, I'm gonna take this just because I need ammo, and I'm gonna buy a random gun. Here, give me this Pharaoh. It's Pharaoh time, baby. Hell yeah. Greatest gun ever. The Pharaoh. Okay, well. It's fitting that I have bad luck when it comes to at least one thing, because, you know, I've had bad box luck on all the maps so far when I was doing Easter eggs. It's only fitting now that I have bad Wonder Fizz luck. Oh man, how many times is it going to give me Deadshot? The only thing that's nice is that since Mule Kick has a perk machine on the map, Mule Kick is not in the Wonder Fizz. That's the only thing I can take solace in. And I think it's that way for all the other Chronicles maps. Like they added a Wonder Fizz to pretty much all the maps. And with the exception of Origins, the only perks in the Wonder Fizz on the Chronicles maps, again, except Origins, the only perks in them are perks that don't have machines on the map. So it makes it very consistent to get like Widow's Wine and stuff. And Stamina. There it is, finally. Alright, give me that. So obviously Nacht in this case, every perk is in the Wonder Fizz except for Mule Kick. Which is a godsend, because I fucking hate Mule Kick. Granted, Mule Kick is a lot better in this game compared to the other games that have it, excluding Cold War, obviously. Because of the alternate ammo types, but even in this game, I still don't like Mule Kick at all. Same goes for Cold War as well. Like I don't buy Mule Kick until I have like the 2 guns I want. Because I just never want a 3rd gun. You know, like if your 3rd gun were like tied to your D-pad or something, and you could specifically switch to it, but the fact that it's just kind of in the same slot as like the other 2 guns, and you have to hit Y 2 times instead of once to get to what you want, it's annoying, and it's just muscle memory that I don't want to learn. I'm too stubborn. There's bullet boost. I'm just gonna take it this time. Pharaoh gang. Firewood, no. Please don't get me turned. Man, just my luck. I'm obviously still not super happy about the Revelations thing falling through, but I really just don't have the motivation or patience to do it again. And it makes for some funny moments. You know, for me to throw on the video of me just raging, so. Now, obviously, I'm not going to say that I couldn't complete the Revelations Easter egg, because that's embarrassing. No one should ever admit that, but that is kind of what happened. And also, I guess I didn't mention the Death Machine is on this map, even though it wasn't even in the Black Ops 1 version. So, you know, they took some liberties with this. And I say liberties and not, like, neglect, because I feel like there's a lot of things in Chronicles that were very purposeful. You know, and purposeful in adhering to the originals as well, so I don't think it was neglect on their part. There's a lot of other parts of Black Ops 3, I can't say that, but I feel like, you know, obviously a lot of care and love went into Chronicles, so. And I wish we got that attitude when it came to zombies these days, because you look at some of those Cold War maps and fuck, man, they're dire. They're really dire. But I'm optimistic, especially given the announcement of Treyarch having more time to work on the next game, that it'll be quality, you know. And in terms of maps, we won't just get, you know, base, city, and then base again. Because that's literally what Cold War's, you know, round base cycle was. Again, it was base, city, and then base again. You know, really just boring locales that feel very uninspired. And that's why, I mean, I think even the biggest Cold War defenders and apologists will tell you, I mean, and I think anybody will tell you, the weakest part of that game was definitely its maps. You know, however I may feel about the game being too easy, you know, it's only, and boring, right? That's only compounded by being in, you know, not an interesting location, so. You know, and when, like, you know, people who are ultra fans of Outbreak and objective-based gameplay, right, try to shit on round-based, it's like, yeah, the round-based maps in Cold War are not good. And if that's your only exposure to round-based, then, you know, play the other games, you'll see, like, it's not a bad formula by any means. just realized, you know, maybe I think I shot the radio on accident and it's gonna play tons of copyrighted music. I forgot about that. See, I'm so used to the radio being on and playing in the background that it's like, oh right, I'm streaming now. Can't have that playing. And obviously I don't care, I don't make any money off this, so if it gets claimed, I don't care. My only issue is if, you know, the stream were to be muted or something. You know, for just some inane, stupid reason. Nobody likes that. Bingo. I'm not gonna take it, though. Ow, weird zombie. Also, in terms of camping spots and stuff, I mean, you can, you know, if you have the help door closed, you can sit right here by these stairs and just kind of shoot the things in front of you. It's obviously not as good as leaving the stairs closed and, you know, camping over there, but it's an okay substitute while I hit the box for the time being. I'm starting to feel a bit tired though, so I don't think I'm going to do Verrucht this stream as well. I think it's just going to be Nacht for tonight. Because, you know, that wonderful feeling when you get tired, you start getting those little blurs in your eyes. You know, when you get tired, like, the first thing that gets hit is your eyes. At least in my experience. 74U. I forgot that's on this map. You know, one weird oddity with it, if you can see it in the box, I'm not going to pick it up to show it off, but for whatever reason, the 74U in the World at War maps has no attachments. But on Black Ops 1, it has like a laser sight and a red dot. It's just one of those things that I noticed. Especially because I hate the red dot. I hate when they give red dots to guns that traditionally had good iron sights. And one thing is, you know, it might sound a bit contradictory because all my guns have sights on them, but I usually don't like putting sights on guns. You know, I like using iron sights, especially in, you know, a PvE mode like zombies. It doesn't make that big of a difference. You know, because I find when I use sights on guns, they start to feel homogenized. You know, just the same sight on every gun. It's a bit boring. And again, that's a tad bit ironic because I put sights on all my guns in this game, but it's also partially because I'm just too lazy to take them all off. I did take the sight off for the RK5 though, because, you know, I spawn in with it every game, so. Yeah, there's the copyrighted music. Here, can I turn that off? Can I knife it? Okay, I can knife it. That's good. Again, I just don't want the stream to get muted. Normally I'd be fucking headbanging to that shit, but you know, can't this time. Okay, so he goes all the way over here, and of course he's turned. So I was hoping I could headshot him to get enough to hit the box again, but alas. It's gonna be the nice thing about the next few maps we play though. I can just kind of chill, hit the box, maybe talk for a bit. Okay, there's turned again. Fucking hell. He is partially helping, but that was a burp. Ugh. That was one of those burps that made my fucking nostrils burn. Those always suck. It's also indigestion. Not very fun. And I forgot to mention this on GoRod, I should have, but like these, you know, these laser projectiles that the Mark II shoots, and the Mark III, and the Boomhilda, well, we'll get to that also. Like these kind of slow-moving projectiles, they can actually damage you. And it's a pretty big issue in this game in particular. I mean, it used to happen in Black Ops 2 a bit, but that was only when you were like really lagging. But in this game, since the projectiles move so much slower, it's more prevalent. Basically, the way the hitboxes work out, like if a zombie's in front of you or you're on like a weird surface or something, like... And again, specifically if the zombie's close to you, the Mark II, the Boomhilda, and the Mark III, they can all damage you. And I've had them kill me several times. Oh, Annihilator, I'll take that. And I've had, you know, I had quite a few game clips back in the day of it happening. Unfortunately, I think they've all been auto-deleted since then. I'd love to include one of those in the video, but... You know, like, I've had, like, really blatant examples of it, right? Like, I won't even get hit by the zombie, and my Mark II will just down me. You know, from, like, full health to 0. But, I mean, those are pretty rare, right? Like, the most common scenario is that a zombie's in front of you and you damage yourself. But it's not enough to kill you. And then, you know, the zombies down you because of it. You know, those are harder to highlight. So, again, I wish I still had those clips. I'd love to include it in the video and talk about it, but I don't even think I'll mention it because of that. Again, if I don't have an example, people are just going to be like, he's bullshitting, you know. BRM. Now, obviously, all the other times I've said it, you know, I've said, like, a weapon's really common out of the box, and I jinx myself, but I will say this time, for a change, the Thunder Gun in the box on this map is rare. It's pretty rare, actually. I'm half tempted to take that RPK. Just because it has ammo and I can use it for a bit. Yeah, I'm gonna take this. I want to take this. I don't feel bad about it. This gun is good, so. And it has the cool drum mag. You can never go wrong with hashtag cool drum mag. And I guess I've also mentioned the Annihilator briefly. It is nice to have it on these maps, even though it, obviously, as we highlighted in the Giant, it sucks and it will get you killed if you just only use it, but, you know, it's nice to have at least some kind of specialist on these maps. I think it would have been cooler, though, if they found a way to incorporate, you know, Black Ops 3's kind of base specialist instead of just having the Annihilator on every map, but I can see why they didn't do that. Like, you know, I think it would have been thematically appropriate to have maybe, like, the Ragnaroks on Origins and, you know, like the Skull on Shinonuma, right? They could have worked those in, but, again, I can see why they didn't. They wanted these to be as faithful as possible, you know, with a few bells and whistles in places, and that's fine. Obviously, we need another crate power. I think probably not going to get one this cycle, though, I'm afraid. I think I just realized also, I think there's only 2 Gobblegum machines on the map, right? There's one up there, and the one in spawn. It's kind of weird if they were trying to put one in each part of the map. Like, I don't know why there's not one in this one. Seems a bit odd, but could be for balancing reasons. Hell, I mean, I don't know. Not that Gobblegums are even remotely balanced to begin with, but you know. Do a bit of knifing. Okay, there's quite a few here. I think all in all, also, as I was getting at when we first started, I mean, I do think this is the best version of Nacht, just because it's the most playable, right? And I mean that in the sense that, you know, like it's possible to get to decent rounds. You know, it's not just ultra hard for the sake of being ultra hard. You know, and there's a difference between being helpless and being able to fight back in some capacity. You know, like this isn't like Cold War where I feel completely overpowered and there's just no even remote sense of danger, right? That's the balance that a lot of survival horror games have to do. It's like, how much do you want the player to be able to fight back? You know, and I think that's part of why, you know, Resident Evil has always been popular, especially the isometric, or not isometric, fixed camera games, that's what I meant to say. Is that in those games you start off really weak, and then by the end of the game you're blasting off heads with a shotgun left and right, and, you know, you fuck shit up. You know, it's like evolution, it's progression. And that's what those games have always done extremely well. You know, and obviously the newer RE games have gone back to that. I still haven't played 8 yet. I played 7. Played quite a bit of 7. I thought it was fine. Nothing super amazing. But I still haven't played 8 yet. So... And of course I played Resident Evil 2 Remake, Resident Evil 3 Remake, and those were fine. Obviously I should be talking about zombies, right? Not Resident Evil. But you know, just a comparison. And that's part of what Zombies has done as well, again, to draw a parallel to Resident Evil, is just the progression in a match, right? Eventually you do become powerful. And that's something I appreciate about having, you know, the Wonder Fizz and being able to pack a punch on these older maps, is that it doesn't take away from the map in any way. I don't feel like it just adds to the progression. Pull this out. Hopefully it doesn't get me killed, like on the Giant. Although, admittedly, on the Giant, I was trying to use it at like around 35. I think this will go a lot better than that did. Okay, I don't think there's that many left. Okay, I know, there's a few coming down here, I heard them. Alright, well here, with this double points, I'm gonna probably do a few cycles on the Gobblegum. I mean, the Gobblegums are another thing, too, that add to the progression of this map. Because obviously you can do double and triple spins to spend points that way, and again, you're just, whether it's the Wonder Fizz, the box, or the Gobblegum, you're always cycling on this map. And of course, like I said earlier, it falls into line with the gameplay of the original, constantly hitting the box and stuff. Turned. I'll probably keep that. In plain sight. Nothing wrong with that. I think at this point I'm just trying to get the Thunder Gun. That's really what the end goal is. And here, since I grabbed that nuke, I'm gonna cycle this again. Purple again. Oh, that's no fun. Here, I'm gonna stay up here and do another hit. 9,000, sure. What is that? Crate power. Here, I gotta take that. Right here. Get down the stairs quick before they takes the in-plane side away. Alright, good. Good. Hopefully I can get a turn zombie to just wreck everything on the stairs. There we go. So I guess the alternate ammo types too are another aspect of being able to pack a punch, and you know, for the most part, I think alternate ammo types are fine-ish in this game, but obviously, you know, I think there's some outliers. Like, I think turned and fireworks are cool, but, you know, but I think things like dead wire and blast furnace are really boring, so it's kind of hit or miss. And then I think Thunderwall kind of has that middle ground of, like, being helpful for your gun while not making it completely broken. So, you know, there's like give and takes. But obviously Deadwire is the biggest culprit. I think Deadwire is extremely lame. And I'm going to talk about that in the video. I think that they've definitely overbuffed it way back when. But then again, I think that's something most people can agree with. And that's not to say things like, you know, turned and fireworks can't be abused, because they definitely can and are typically, you know, in conjunction with Deadwire. Like, the high round strat on most maps in this game is to not even have a wonder weapon. Like, the fastest high rounds, literally, are to get Mule Kick and to have turned, Deadwire, and fireworks. And with those three, you can just go through rounds extremely quickly and just not even have to stop. You can just train the whole time and, like, turn around, shoot once, turn around, shoot once with each gun and just cycle through all three. And, you know, it's not disparaging for the people who do that, because obviously it's, you know, it still takes effort. You're still training and you have to avoid zombies and stuff, but I think things like that are what strays too far away from core zombies gameplay. You know, not the fact that you can train around and, you know, it's not like a purely survival, right? No, monkeys. Okay, those are fine. We can get the upgraded monkeys on this map. It is kind of cool also that the upgraded monkeys are here as well. I didn't mention that, but obviously, unlike Galrod, there's no quest to get them. You just have to crate power them. You know, you happen to get them out of the box, you can crate power them. Which is something they didn't have to do or enable, but I'm happy they did. What is this? Another crate power. Cool. Alright. And then, I think the Black Ops 1 version of this map did add monkeys, which is nice. And this version obviously carried that over. Just, you know, one small pet peeve I have is that, like, all the Thompson wall buys that were in these World at War maps should have been replaced by the Tommy gun. You know, obviously I know they're not the exact same gun, they're very different guns, but, you know, it's close enough, guys. I mean, come on. And here, I'm going to throw a monkey. Obviously, I point that out explicitly because the Thompson wall buy used to be right here. And it was replaced with a, you know, just a boring Cuda. I mean, then again, they could have put any Black Ops 3 gun there, and I would have said it was boring, because that's one of the weaknesses of this game, is that a lot of the guns just don't feel very inspired. They're just generic, kind of futuristic, and they're boring. And they don't sound good. And that's just like icing on the cake. Like, a lot of the firing sounds in this game are just downright bad. Like, this whole game is very hit or miss when it comes to the sound design. Like, some things are really incredible, and others just really leave a lot to be desired. Okay, there we go. I got a death machine. I'll use that next round. See, I don't entirely know at this point if we're even going to get the Thunder Gun, but I'm going to keep hitting for it. Obviously, it'd be extremely nice to have, and but it's mostly for gameplay. And I mean, there's some things as well in the box on this map that are there for just, you know, just for being faithful, like the STG and the MP40, and I think even the bootlegger, you know, they're all in the box. I mean, not that you'd ever really take them or want to take them, though, just because they're really not that amazing. You know, like the STG without a wall buy is not very good, so... And, you know, same could be said for the other guns in there as well. And I did mention on Guard Provi as well that the PPSH is not on Nacht, because, you know, it was never on Nacht, it's only on Shinonuma and Barucht. Which, I mean, that's one of those things that I wish they would have taken creative liberty on, and have put, you know, the PPSH in the box on this map, even though it doesn't. Even though it was never on Nacht. It would have been completely fine with me, and I think everyone else. HVK. Obviously, I'm a terrible streamer, because I don't have my own stream up looking at chat, but... I would be shocked if even a single person came in here. Here, let's see. Back to Twitch. My channel. There I am. Okay. Yeah. See, as I just said, STG, it's in the box, but... There's no way in hell I'd ever crate power that on this map. Especially because there's 3 other maps I can use that in as a wall weapon, so I don't really feel like I'm missing out on much. Locus. Not a good gun. Double points. Not really needed. It should go without saying also, like, if you're not running, you know, like a Perkaholic or whatever else on this map, going down is a nightmare and a half. Especially in a co-op game. Actually, I mean, I don't know why I said especially co-op, especially solo, actually, because, you know, you don't have people with perks to back you up, so it's not so good. 74U. Here, I'm gonna grab this. For convenience, mostly. We're obviously not getting very good luck with this Thunder Gun, but I wasn't expecting to. It's perfectly fine. I'm just happy I actually managed to get Jug out of the Wonder Fizz, so... You know, my standards aren't that high. At least not for this. I mean, I don't explicitly need Thunder Gun gameplay, because, I mean, everyone already knows it's unlocked. Because it was in the Black Ops 1 version. Interestingly, though, you know, obviously the Black Ops 1 version of Barucht had the Winter's Howl, which is notoriously a terrible wonder weapon, like on just in every category, right? The ray gun's better than the Winter's Howl. And that should tell you everything you need to know about that. Okay. Could have been bad. Didn't know that. And, so on Black Ops 3 Barucht, they replaced it with the Wonder Waff, which, I think changes that map in a lot of ways people don't actually realize. Because, you know, they could have done the boring thing and just not had a Wonder Weapon on it at all. But no, they put the Wonder Waff on it. And I talked about how strong the Black Ops 3 Wunderwaffe is. So it completely changes the way you play the map, if you have it. And that's obviously, it's a good thing. You know, I think that's definitely a good thing. Ow. Rude. Okay, we're gonna throw another monkey. Put the box again. Yeah, just not getting good thunder gun luck. Yeah, turned crawler, isn't that nice? It's not looking great here. Based on the current ammo situation, the next okay gun I get out of the box, I might just end up taking. Again, just because the ammo situation is a little less than ideal at the moment. Yeah, okay, well, we're not taking a Pharaoh. I did that earlier. Been there, done that. Okay, Death Machine's good. We'll use that. Carpenter, maybe not as good. Yeah, I think the Carpenter slightly screwed me over because I don't get to do as much with this Death Machine. I should probably hit the box while they're breaking in, to be honest. Oh boy, yeah, look at that big horde. They all came out of one window, I know it. Okay, yeah. Let me do this, very sly. Oh man. Alright. Surprised we got a max, to be honest. But then again, I mean, the last time we were close to running out, the game gave us a max, so it's fitting in a way. And this will guarantee that I make it to round 30. Without a doubt. Still no Thunder Gun, though. Obviously, you know, having to let every gun sink back down into the box makes the box hitting a lot slower, but even despite that, I'm still a little surprised we didn't get it. Obviously, there's still a chance, but it's quickly fading. You know, it's actually interesting. There's one gun we haven't gotten out of the box yet. The MX Garand is in all these maps. And it's weird that it hasn't popped out yet. I think if I got that early on, I might have actually taken it, but we're just getting bad box luck all around. Well, here, since I have the ammo for it, and I obviously still have monkeys, I might set in for another round or two just to keep hitting the box. Because this is probably going to be the only late night kind of stream I do. There's the MP40, we haven't gotten that yet. For the only map I play on this wonderful late night stream here. I think I've done a pretty good amount of talking this stream as well. You know, obviously there's been some silent moments, but getting a little better at talking to myself, I think. And, you know, when it comes to that, obviously ignoring the chat and the view count helps, because, you know, if it spikes up by one, I'm going to be pressured to interact with said person and try to keep them here, which is just not my style, man. And that may be self-defeating, because that's what streamers are supposed to do. They constantly talk to chat and interact and keep people here. And I'll do that eventually, but for now I just want to focus on me. How many dingoes is it gonna give me? And, I forgot to mention also, it just came to my head that, you know, because I do public matches sometimes on Black Ops 3. It's usually pretty self-defeating, because someone just pops a gobblegum I don't like and I leave. But, but, you know, for the games I do stay in, and, you know, just the amount of public match searching I do, you know, strangely, Nacht in this game is a pretty popular map. Obviously, for whatever reason, I know on Xbox specifically, the percentage counters on each of the maps have been broken for a long time. They're all just at 0%, so I can't genuinely see, you know, what percentage of people are playing each map. But I know for a fact, just based on how quickly I find games, that Nacht is very popular in this game. And, you know, I'm sure that's for a variety of reasons. It's, you know, again, simplicity and... You know, I mean, it also being the first map helps. You know, and obviously when we talk about simple maps and zombies, you know, people usually are just referring to, you know, like it having a lot of Easter eggs on it and quests and stuff, you know, like a lot of the, you know, in-season Black Ops 3 maps do. But, you know, one thing that people don't touch on specifically is simplicity and layout, right? Because, obviously, you know, like, Kino and Ascension are extremely simple maps, right? But, you know, but they're kind of on the, maybe not bigger side, but compared to maps like Nacht and Varuk and, you know, Shinonuma, and the maps we got, well, maybe not so much Shinonuma, but, like, the maps we got in World at War generally, including Doris. You know, they had a simplicity in layout as well. And I think when people talk about how, you know, like zombies started to die as soon as Black Ops 1, they mean, you know, the layout of maps as well, which usually doesn't get touched on. Because, like I said, the simplicity versus complex divide, if you want to call it that, is usually only talked about in terms of Easter eggs. Oh boy. Okay, Mark II just totally saved my ass there. Amazing. That was really close. So you don't always have to get red screened for it to be really close, especially in this game. Because the zombies, like I said, hit you so fast that, you know, like if you get red screened in this game and escape, it's like a godsend. You know, usually the close calls in this game are not even getting hit once. It's like, oh shit, I almost got trapped. Okay, well, I have enough ammo to do a few more hits on this box, but once again, I just don't think we're going to get it, unfortunately, which is tragic, but... Okay, and obviously I still have 2 more monkeys, so... Now the big if is, if I do get the Thunder Gun, I'll go to maybe 38. I mean, I guess if I go to 38, I might as well just do the full 40, right? So... What is that? That's a Vesper. Tragic. I can also just keep making turn zombies. You know, no reason to use those last 28 shots if I can just keep making turn zombies with it. One of the things also, I mean, I haven't mentioned it at all, but I am a level 1000. I've been to 1000 in this game twice. Which, you know, long story there, but essentially, you know, one of the things that was really liberating about getting to 1000 is, you know, actually being able to use, like, turned and fireworks and stuff. Because, you know, obviously, turned and fireworks, they don't give you kills, and they don't give you points. So, you know, once I stopped caring about XP and stuff, or, you know, I could stop caring about XP, it definitely opened those two up for me. Because before I got to 1000, they were like the plague. They were cancer. I stayed away from them at all costs. But now I'm a turned and fireworks lover. So... use this to get a couple kills. I think we're close to the end of the round, maybe. Good boy. Okay. Mark II saved me again. Gotta love it. And of course, I mean, I'm not as irritated about not getting the Thunder Gun as I would be on like an Easter egg heavy map. You know, getting that wonder weapon. You know, just because it's Nacht, it's all in good fun. You know, it's not a huge deal. And I don't even really need it in footage. It's just, you know, it's just there to mention. I got a max. I can keep going, I guess. Cool. There it is. Alright. Took you long enough. Alright, well I guess I'm going to 40 then. I get to be around for a little bit longer. Isn't that nice? Well, here, let me get in plain sight now. That ball outcome works too. And, you know, similar to Verrucht having the Wunderwaffe in this game, obviously the Thunder Gun just... It's the Thunder Gun. You know, it's the ultimate not dying wonder weapon. And the thing you know, don't have to worry about with in this game like you would in Black Ops 1 is those weird ghost shots you would get with it. Where you'd shoot a horde with it and they'd just come over and kill you anyway. I've seen so many clips of that happening to people on like round 200 and, you know, in the 150s and stuff, and it's heartbreaking. Especially with how slow the rounds are in BL1. I'd hate to be those dudes. Right here. There you go. Just cleared the whole room. And a big thing about the Thunder Gun in this game that it doesn't do in Black Ops 1 is that it can actually make drops, which it's one of those things I wonder if Treyarch did deliberately with the Thunder Gun in this game, or it was some kind of accident, because it was in Revelations. It did make drops in Revelation, case in point. It just made me a max ammo. And that was one of the big parts of Black Ops 1 high rounds as well, is like just managing your Thunder Gun ammo with the traps, because you know the Thunder Gun couldn't make drops and the traps couldn't make drops, so the only max ammos you were getting were on the dog rounds or the boss rounds. So that, you know, definitely gave that game some kind of skill gap. You know. That this game obviously doesn't have, because the Thunder Gun makes drops, which I don't think is the worst thing in the world, actually. I do like that. It always seemed kind of inconsistent and frustrating, the fact that certain wonder weapons could make drops and others couldn't. And I know some people like that, but... You know... For me, it's like, it's either all of them make drops or none of them make drops, you know, whichever one you want. But don't have these weird wonder weapons where some of them do and some of them don't. Again, maybe a bit of a hot take, but it's just what I think. And I do mention this, you know, and I often complain about the zombies hitting too fast, and I think it's a big problem in this game, but You know, I don't think it's not necessarily a deal breaker for me, like it is for some people. It's obviously bad, and I wish the zombies hit slower. You know, and to compensate for that, maybe balance the game more. You know, nerf some stuff. But you know, I think Black Ops 3 is almost, you know, like if the zombies hit any faster than they do now, then I think the game would be borderline unplayable. But I think it's just teetering on the edge of that, and I think the game is mostly fine. But obviously it's really aggravating to get insta-down by, like, you know, just scraping a horde or something. Like training in here, I've had to scrape the horde a few times, and you just see me get hit like 3 times, like back to back to back. And obviously if I were to, I gotta shoot. Like if I tried to scrape that, for example, definitely would have went down. I think I could have got past them. You know, like in any other zombies, I would have gotten past them. But the fact that they hit so fast, if I scraped them like that, I would have went down, you know? And there are just more considerations you have to make like that in Black Ops 3, you know, especially when you're not using the overpowered shit, like, you know, Widow's Wine and Stamina. And people may wonder why I hate Stamina so much in this game. It's solely because it just adds to the randomness, right? You know, like, you know, moving faster, running faster, it eliminates some of the key parts of training in this game. I think it makes things a bit too easy. Obviously, Stamina Up is harder to make the case for of being overpowered than Widow's Wine. Everyone knows Widow's Wine's overpowered. You know, you don't, you know, it's not a shocking revelation to anyone. But Stamina Up is a bit more... People might be more weirded out when they hear me say that. But the case I'd make for that is the same as Widow's Wine. Play with it and play without it, and you'll immediately know the difference, right? And I think Stamina Up in the same way as Widow's Wine, if you just constantly use it and always have it on, it makes you a worse player. So, you know, I mean, now that I have this Thunder Gun, I'll definitely do 140. I have no qualms with that. Just a, you know, fun, casual Nacht stream. And this also does highlight how, you know, how training in here is. It certainly is engaging. And obviously the Thunder Gun makes it very doable, we'll say. Of course, though, if I didn't have the Thunder Gun and I just had, like, Widow's Wine or something, I could still train in here, too. But then again, if I didn't have the Thunder Gun and I didn't have Widow's Wine, then I wouldn't be training. I'd still be playing pretty defensive. Of course, I could train with, like, in plain sight or something, but then I'd probably be popping it. I'd be using both in plain sights in one round, and that's not very efficient. Just gonna chill for a minute when the round changes. Do a bit of a stretch. And, you know, as we go down the maps here, we'll get on to, like, art style and stuff. Obviously, there's not a lot to talk about with Nacht. Nacht was always gray and, you know, blue. And I say blue because, you know, the moonlight and, you know, the shining and the box and stuff. I guess there's a little bit of red in there, too, with the barrels, but, you know, it's not the most visually diverse map in the world, so I, you know... But that's another thing Chronicles did well also. Visually, most of the maps are faithful, except for, you know, one that we'll get to. I don't want to spoil it. One thing that might be kind of surprising is that since this map is so easy, I actually don't have round 100 on this map in this game. I did it for most of the other maps, except for a few. But I didn't end up doing this map, despite it being, you know, obviously really easy. With the Thunder Gun and, you know, obviously Widow's Wine and stuff. Just the key reason I didn't do it is that the rounds are just so incredibly slow. You know, and compared to the other BO3 maps, it would have taken significantly longer. And, you know, it's a hell of a time sink to do that, despite it being easy and it being another round 100 to put on my combat record. And also, all the round 100s I did were quite a while ago now. I think like 3 or 4 years ago I did most of those. And, you know, obviously I could do them now, right? Or, you know, the maps I haven't done, I could do them now, but there's just no motivation. This game dies more and more day by day. And, you know, despite it being the most played zombies, I think, at this point, even beating Cold War, you know, by lots of people, I just don't have the motivation. I'm mostly just relegated to helping people with Easter eggs these days. Despite the fact that the gobblegums in this game are so broken, realistically, they don't need my help. But obviously they don't realize that. And I find the Easter eggs mostly fun to do in this game. You know, as I've demonstrated over the last few streams. You know, there's a full horde. Here we go. We just back up into that corner and shoot. There's really no penalty for it. And of course, you know, trying to run more conventional trains on this map and like shooting into the horde and like slowly killing them with a gun is really not realistic on this map. Oh boy. Okay. Did I regen? I did. No. I actually don't think I fully regen there. That hit was a little bit more red than it should have been. No, that was the end of the round. We did good. I think that's how the rest of these, you know, again, the rest of these Chronicles maps are going to go. It's going to be pretty chill, pretty lax. Except for Moon and Origins, which are going to make me want to pull my hair out. Especially Moon. Which is the reason I might not even do Moon, honestly. Oh, I didn't realize we could get a max there. Cool though. Probably should have mentioned it when I got this out of the box, but there are some other minor disappointments with the Mark II in this game, other than being able to kill yourself with it, like I mentioned. You know, like it fires slower, and... See, I don't know if they nerfed the damage, though. I think the damage is the same, despite... I don't know, in certain situations it feels weaker than the BO2 one. But I'm leaning on the side that it has the same damage, but the fire rate is definitely lower. Which I don't know why they did that. Because in BO2 it had like no burst delay, you could just spam it for days. And here it has just this weird burst delay that is frustrating. Again, it's still powerful though, you know, it kills up into the, I think the 60s in this game. Maybe even like low 70s, it still kills. Which is pretty impressive, but obviously in the land of Black Ops 3 with alternate ammo types, it is kind of made irrelevant. Despite it being a lot of fun. That is one thing I will give credit to Cold War for. I think Cold War has the best implementation of alternate ammo types, or ammo types in general. You know, like certain boss enemies having elemental weaknesses, kind of encouraging you to use different stuff on different maps. I do like that. That's one of the positive things about Cold War. And again, there aren't many positives I have for Cold War, despite most of the community sucking that game off and loving it to no end. I'm just not there, man. You know. Just check out my stream earlier where we looked at the Super Easter egg. I couldn't even make it to round 30. I was so bored. And obviously the game, you know, Cold War at like round 55 plus, or with like the Rampage Inducer on, yeah, the game becomes harder, but like, you know, like, can we have a hard game without Super Sprinters? Like, why do we need Super Sprinters now? And I think they just ruin the gameplay. You know, like, say what you will about this game, but the fact that the zombies, like, the speed of the zombies is consistent. You know, I just think it makes for more engaging gameplay. Because Super Sprinters inherently encourage you to be more defensive, and some people like that, obviously. But I'm just not one of them. You know, you can have defensive and training playstyles in the game without Super Sprinters. You know, it's almost like some people get irritated by the fact that you can train. You know, like they have this approach to zombies where it's like, if you train at all, you're scum. And obviously nobody's going to say that out loud, but that's just kind of the vibe I get from some of these people. Okay, we're going to chill on the stairs here, shoot the Mark II for a bit. As you can see, the Mark II is still a one-shot headshot. Obviously, because it has that that crazy headshot multiplier. I don't remember the exact numbers on it. But I think a headshot with the Mark II does 1,000 damage, I believe. I guess that's another thing that people are really split on when it comes to Cold War as well, is, you know, damage numbers. You know, damage numbers above zombies' heads. People don't really... Some people really don't like that. I mean, personally, I do. You know, I come from a background of, like, RPGs and, you know, Borderlands and stuff, so I, you know, I'm used to damage numbers, and if anything, I welcome them, because, you know, it's good to know how much damage you're doing. Because then you can kind of... You know, even without, like, statistics, you know, you can... Just playing the game, you can... After a while, you know what does good, what good damage is and what's bad damage. And it's kind of a more consistent, it's just a consistent way of knowing, and patterns and stuff, knowing, you know, what's good and what isn't, just based off of the numbers. And obviously in Cold War, it's not the most intuitive, because you have the, not just Pack-a-Punch, but also the rarity system as well. So, you know, you have to play that game quite a bit to know what's good damage and what's bad damage relative to, you know, rarities and Pack-a-Punch and stuff. You know, but over time you learn it. Okay, let's do some Annihilator action. Yeah, it's officially a two-shot headshot at this point. Just, you know, just like I said on the Giant. No, it's gonna get me killed again. Oh boy, that was bad. Okay. I'm never pulling that out again, man. It almost just got me killed. Oh, it's so bad. Why is it so bad? It's fitting. The only time we get red screen in this game is A, when I pull the Annihilator out, and B, when I'm trying to grab a fucking Gobblegum. Okay, here, wait. Okay. I think this is last zombie. I'm gonna kill him with it. Killing last zombie with it is okay, but not anything else. It's too shit for that. It is also worth noting we've been holding onto our alchem and we haven't had to use it once. Now, granted, like, you know, 38 is would be a pretty low round to have to pop it on, but I'm also not spamming it, obviously. Come on. Come on. I was playing and blabbering on for so long that my controller died. No surprises there. Nukes are good. At least right now they are. Wow, it's bad. It's so bad. Okay, here. I'm gonna wait for a few more to spawn in, then we're just gonna grab this. Here. Just maximize the number of zombies it kills. I think we got 24 there with that nuke. It's good to be efficient. Also, I think the music's playing again. I'm not sure how that happened. I think the Annihilator might have hit the radio or something. I wouldn't put it past that fucking thing. Oh boy. Oh man, yeah, that was close. Man, that was like... That was really quick reflexes on that one. Surprised I didn't down. That's the risk you take, though, doing some of these loops, you know. Part of why I hate Widow's Wine, because it just completely trivializes training. You know, just takes all the skill out of movement. Okay, so you like that. I mean, obviously, you know, if I had Widow's Wine, they would have just hit me in the back, and I would have had to shoot, and, See, I made that cut around before, but I knew I had the full horde, so there was no reason to just not shoot. And we got another max ammo. The game's been really generous with max ammos this game. No. Okay. Let me regen. Okay, do this cut around here. There we go. Made it that time. No. Wow, that guy actually survived. I think he might have just been behind the pillar right when I shot it. Another annoying thing about the Mark II that I didn't mention is that, unlike Black Ops 2, in this game you can only have one Mark II on the map at a time, meaning that only one player can have it. So generally in a co-op game, like if you get the Wonder Weapon and the Mark II, it's really selfish. And obviously counterintuitive, because you'll want to, you know, your secondary to be a gun with, you know, an alternate ammo type. So not only are you hurting yourself in that situation, you're fucking your team over too. It's kind of weird. Not that the Mark II is like on par with, you know, a Map's Wonder Weapon or anything, but it's still nice for somebody to have, you know. At least, like I said, for the first 60 rounds or so. Okay, just one more round to go here, and we'll call it a stream. It's been pretty good. Despite the fact that I don't think anyone showed up or even watched this, I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good. I had fun. That's what matters. You know, I had fun. That's all that matters. I don't think the other maps are going to end up being like this, though. I said when the stream started, I don't intend to go to round 40 on all these. Especially like you know, maps like Ascension and Kino, for example. I mean, obviously I could get to round 40 on those, but I think I'm just gonna do like a 30 on those and call it. Because honestly, Kino and Ascension, I don't have a lot to say about in this game. I think they're better than the originals, right? Which might sound controversial, but you know, they just improve on the gameplay in a lot of ways. Like Black Ops 1 has horrible, horrible guns in it. Like they do almost no damage. And this game has double tap 2 and pretty good guns overall, so I think it's just a lot more enjoyable, most of the Black Ops 1 maps. With, you know, one key exception, which we'll also get to. I plan to use this footage also to put together, like, an ultimate zombies ranking. Where I, include, you know, remakes and stuff. So, like, you know, it'll have World at War Nacht, Black Ops 1 Nacht, and then Black Ops 3 Nacht. You know, all as separate maps to rank. Because, you know, all three are different. You know, like for example, you know, World at War Nacht has, you know, the fun nostalgia factor to it of it being the first map and, you know, going back to play it. And obviously Black Ops 3 Nacht here, in my opinion, improves upon the gameplay in a lot of ways, whereas, you know, Black Ops 1 Nacht, I'd rather smash my balls with a hammer repeatedly over and over than play that, so so I think it's fair to rank them all separately. Same could be said for the other World at War maps as well. And, you know, like the Black Ops 1 version of a lot of those maps is just really not that great. Because it's in kind of this weird middle ground of where it's, you know, it's not nostalgic enough to, you know, play it like the World at War versions, and it doesn't improve upon the gameplay enough that the Black Ops 3 versions obviously do, so a lot of them are bad, with one key exception, which I will get to at some point. I don't know why I said at some point. The key exception that I will mention in the video that will be ranked highly. See, sometimes my autism just slips in and I just say things wrong. It's okay, though. I'm gonna get better at that. I'm gonna improve. I think we're coming up on the end of the run. Well, this has been a lot of fun. Had a lot more fun on Nacht on this game than I would have realized. Had some close calls, some daring escapes. There were highs and there were lows. So I feel pretty good about how this went. I was contemplating whether I should even do this late night stream, but I'm happy I did. Very happy I did. So obviously in Black Ops 3 tradition, having used Mega Gobblegums, despite having a lot of them, as you can see, I am going to end up dashboarding. You know, whereas all the other matches that I use classics, I could have just, like, I just ended the game here. I unfortunately have to dashboard. So this is where I